beautiful Thursday afternoon at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. The Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark sees another elimination game early on a Thursday afternoon. For the first time in the history of this tournament, the four lower-seeded teams won in the opening round. And that means we've got an elimination game between two of the highest seeds in this event. It'll be the number 3 seed Texas Tech and the number 2 seed Oklahoma State coming up here in just a couple of moments. Here's what happened to the Cowboys last night. 9 errors combined between West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Mountaineers had the bases loaded in the third. That's an RBI infield single by Darius Hill, and a throwing error scored 2 more runs. It made the score 6-0 in favor of West Virginia. Oklahoma State was able to battle back. They got within 8-5, had the bases loaded in the 9th, but Michael Neustifter hits a harmless ground ball to Andrew Zeitel for the final out as West Virginia pulls the upset 8-5. And as far as Texas Tech was concerned, well, TCU hopped on them from the get-go. After Adam Oviedo drew a bases-loaded walk to score a run, that's Connor Shepard with an RBI double to make it 3-0 in favor of the Horned Frogs. And then A.J. Balta, who ended up driving in 4 runs on the night, followed with a 3-run double. So that dropped the Red Raiders into this elimination game with a 12-2 run rule loss at the hands of 6th-seeded TCU last night. We welcome you upstairs alongside the 4-time College World Series participant, George Frazier. I'm Chad McKee. We've had one elimination game already. George, the top seed is headed home. Texas knocked off by Oklahoma. The Longhorns go 2-out. What has to happen for one of these two teams in order to not have the same fate as Texas?
Well, I think you're going to have to pitch well. Yesterday, obviously, they didn't catch it. They didn't pitch very well. They didn't get timely hits. Neither one of these teams. I mean, Texas Tech walked 14 batters in a ball game. That's unheard of. And talking to Tim Tadlock, he was just like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. He said, I thought I was in the 7th inning. It was the 2nd. So I think they've got to pitch a whole lot better, and they've got 2 much better starters on the hill today.
Indeed, they do. That includes Carson Teal, who's on the mound for Oklahoma State today. And here is the lineup that he will face for the visiting team for this afternoon's game, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. They are 38-16 on the season. It is the top hitting club in the Big 12 Conference. A .312 overall average. Gabe Holt, the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, leads off. Then Brian Klein, Josh Young, and Grant Little. Reams, Warren, Davis, Farhat, and Fulford, the catcher, who had a couple of hits last night. As you see, the top 7 batters in this lineup are batting .300 or better for Tim Tadlock. Carson Teal is the guy that Josh Holliday has called our most important arm. Very versatile left-hander. He's been a starter. He has been a reliever, but he got knocked around pretty good by Texas Tech up in Stillwater in their series last week. The Red Raiders were able to sweep that one. So what's the name of the game for Carson Teal today, George?
Just be Carson Teal. I don't think you have to be any more than who you already are. I think you just got to go out and pitch your game and allow the defense to work behind you, as the innings have mounted on him this year, and it's a lot. I mean, he's at 76 with 74 hits, 81 strikeouts. He's going to pitch to a lot of contact. What you like about him is he seizes the moment that he's in. This young man loves the stage. He likes being on the mound, and he likes the competition.
Carson Teal from Stillwater, drafted in the 17th round last summer, or the 27th round by the Red Sox. First team all Big 12. 2 complete games, 81 strikeouts.
Yeah, the complete game's kind of unheard of in the college game these days.
It is certainly a rarity. Gabe Holt is in, slashing away at the first pitch as we are underway in this elimination game. Gabe Holt, what a season he had. Josh Young of Texas Tech was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year last year. Gabe Holt this year, he's led off every single game. He is the 5th Red Raider to be the Big 12 Conference Freshman of the Year. Actually got picked off at first base last night, but in a true stolen base attempt has not been thrown out. He's 27 out of 27. And he bounced this one foul. Count is 1-2.
I went back a long time, back in time, to see a player comparable to him of the way he can slap and run and beat the infield ground balls out consistently.
What'd you come up with?
Keith Drumright, a guy that was a 4-time All-American at the University of Oklahoma.
Toward the shortstop, Matt Kroon over to first. And you better get it quickly over to first when Holt is running down the line. Oklahoma State, 5 errors committed last night.
It's just ugly baseball last night on both teams. I mean, they had 9 errors combined. When they had 3 balks, 4 hit batsmen, not including all the walks that were involved in the game. Not a typical Oklahoma State game or West Virginia game, for that matter. West Virginia just came out on top.
Here's Klein, and the first pitch strike from Carson Teal. Mentioned the outing that Teal had against Texas Tech. That was last week up in Stillwater. Game 2 of the series, which was played a week ago tomorrow. He went 5 2/3, 6 hits and 6 runs. 5 of those were earned. Brian Klein had a good series against Oklahoma State. Was 6 out of 14. As he just got a piece of that one foul. 1-2 the count. Klein was 1 for 3, scored a run in the Red Raiders' loss to TCU last night. Two balls, 2 strikes. Carson Teal, last year in this Big 12 championship, Oklahoma State went through unbeaten 4-0 as the number 8 seed. As Teal strikes out Klein, that looks a lot like the Carson Teal we saw in last year's Big 12 championship. He pitched in all 4 games.
Steady diet of a fastball, and then all of a sudden a good hard cutter at 86 miles an hour took it out of the zone for him to chase. Good pitch, Carson Teal, and a good result.
Teal ended up pitching in all 4 games. He pitched 10 1/3 innings. Beg your pardon, 8 1/3 innings in the tournament. Struck out 10 batters.
Now the biggest, obviously, the last game that he came in. The emotion he showed on the mound, I thought it uplifted all of his teammates and brought them to a level at that time and that they needed that.
Had to have it. They became the first number 8 seed to win this Big 12 championship. That got them into the NCAA tournament. They feel comfortable about it this year. Finishing second in the number 2 RPI conference in the country. Josh Young, first team All Big 12, batting .391. The leading hitter in the Big 12 this year. In fact, leading the conference in 5 different offensive categories. And the count is 1-2. Teal's 1-2. This is down and away. Young said of last night's game, Nick Lodolo, the starting pitcher for TCU, said, felt like we were going to get to him. And there were times that Lodolo was vulnerable, but Texas Tech just never really strung together back-to-back-to-back hits as they've done so many times.
Well, they started to get command of the slider. When that started to happen, that just slowed the game down to where they couldn't do a whole lot with it. Came up with big strikeouts, big pitches when he needed it. What was he, 43rd pick in the draft?
41st.
41st, just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's Nick Lodolo of TCU. And there's ball 4, down and in to Josh Young. 2-out walk for Carson Teal. Here's the defense behind him. Littell Boone and big Carson McCusker, the 6'8" right fielder. Newstifter and Kroon the left side of the infield. Max Hewitt gets his 4th consecutive start at second base. Christian Funk is down at first, and Colin Tank Simpson behind the plate.
Now the cat and mouse game begins. As this ball club will steal bases. Young's 4 out of 10 so far this year. Not a big base threat, not like the top of the order. But he will steal a base. They are aggressive.
69 steals as a team for the Red Raiders. An 0-1 to Grant Little, also first team All Big 12. A dozen home runs, 66 runs driven in. And even though Texas Tech lost last night, these guys in the middle of the lineup, Young and Little, they each had 2 hits. They always seem to have 2 hits. 1 and 2 in the conference in batting average. Teal again throws over. Young in standing. First base umpire is Jeffrey Henricks. Casey Moser is behind the plate. Got Chris Koski out at second. Christopher Griffith. I beg your pardon. Christopher Griffith is behind the plate. Casey Moser's down at third. Two balls and a strike.
There's 4 umpires out there.
Yeah. I counted.
And if you ask all these fans last night and today earlier,
yeah,
they needed 20.
They're about 1,500 in the bleachers. As soon as the home plate umpire misses one, the number of umpires will rapidly increase. This is fouled out of play by Grant Little. Carson Teal got Hill and Klein. The walk to Young. Cannot give Texas Tech extra chances. Oklahoma State used 6 pitchers last night just to try to manage that game and climb back into it.
Well, they used a lot of guys you don't see during the regular season except maybe on a Tuesday out of their bullpen. And therefore, when they got close in the ball game with Oklahoma State got close, that's when you saw Leinart come into the ball game.
And he ended up finishing things for the Cowboys. Went 2 innings, gave no runs. And it was he and Seifert who gave Oklahoma State a chance to get back into it. Ball 4. So Teal back-to-back walks to Young and Little.
Well, the hard part is you're cruising along with 2 quick outs and about 13 pitches, and you walk into your third batter. You end up going 3-2 walking, then 3-2 after a couple of foul balls, and you end up walking Little. So now the pitch count climbs to 21 very quickly.
Josh Holliday comes out of the Oklahoma State dugout to signal something to his defense on the infield as Zach Reams stands in. Reams was 0 for 2 last night.
Well, they want Hewitt playing a little deeper out on the grass, try to take away the hook with the dead pull hitter.
A little bit of a shift, but not a full-on shift.
Christian Funk playing on the line.
And you got the shortstop Kroon, who doesn't go very far away from second base. You see him. He starts there and then backs up into the outfield.
It tightens up, obviously, because of the shift. You tighten up everything defensively as far as getting good jumps at second.
Reams drove in 4 runs in the series between these 2 teams last week. 0-1, waved at and missed. Reams down on the count 0-2, the senior from Angleton, Texas. Reams, a transfer from Cisco College, took over as the starting DH for this team at the start of Big 12 conference play. Boy, did that pay off. He clubbed 13 home runs during the regular season, batted .361 in conference play. But he's down on strikes, a couple of walks, but also 2 strikeouts for Carson Teal. He pitches a scoreless top of the first inning, and the Cowboys come into the plate. That means Colin Tank Simpson will roll into the batter's box when we return. Red Raiders fans with their guns up here. No score, bottom of the first inning at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship and an elimination game. Oklahoma State coming to the plate. Andrew Rosa in the leadoff spot. Then Matt Kroon and Colin Simpson. John Littell, the seniors, in the cleanup spot. Then it's Christian Funk, Trevor Boone. The lower third is Newstifter, McCusker, and Hewitt. And there you see Ryan Shetter, the right-hander who has finished his warm-up tosses.
Who throws cheddar?
Shetter.
You know he's going to do it. That's right.
I like that.
Cheddar for you at home means he throws really hard. 4-0 record on the season, 54 2/3. 17 appearances, games started, no complete ball games, but he has struck out 61 of those 54. One thing to keep your eyes on, 7 wild pitches. So that kind of gives you an idea. Runner at third base is going to be on alert, tries to jam the breaking ball on the ground. He has also hit 7 batters.
His 2.96 ERA is good, ranks him 4th in the Big 12 Conference. He and Caleb Killian combined on a complete game 1-hitter earlier this year against TCU. Andrew Rosa, who's been in and out of the Oklahoma State lineup because of injury this year, was 2 out of 4 last night, had a walk. He only played in 1 game in the series in Stillwater last weekend, did Rosa, and he's down in the count 0-2. Rosa down on 3 pitches. Shetter wasting very little time as Fulford, the catcher, will pick it up and throw down to first base. 3 pitches and an out for Ryan Shetter.
We'll look for some help from the home plate umpire, Christopher Griffin, on this pitch in the dirt. Did it get dirt? Did it get to the glove? And he saw that he had it in the glove, but would not ring him up, meaning you got to make that attempted throw to first base. Big breaking ball with some arm speed. Got him out front and got the strikeout.
And here's Matt Kroon. Hits a fly ball that lands in right center field for a 1-out single. Matt Kroon, the Big 12 newcomer of the year. Kroon was 1 for 3 last night, so 2 out of 4 now in this Big 12 championship. That will get Colin Simpson to the plate.
Dangerous man with the bat. 18 home runs, 57 RBIs. He's hit 285. And last night, I thought he just kind of got beat up a little bit in the game. A lot of balls in the dirt, a lot of times side to side, took away a lot from him in the game.
Kroon is off. A good pitch to throw for Fulford, but he's not able to throw out Matt Kroon, who's safe at second base with his 16th stolen base in 19 tries.
Be aggressive. Why not? Catch a guy that has a higher leg kick, a little bit slower in that 145 to 155 range of delivering the ball to the plate. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of a very big jump. And that's exactly what Kroon did.
RBI chance for Colin Simpson now.
See, I never really understood the philosophy of putting a huge shift on and then pitch him away.
There is a right side shift for the pull hitter, Colin Simpson. The shortstop, Michael Davis, is over on the second base side of the bag. And there's ball 3 to Colin Simpson.
Expect the ball out of the zone. Go ahead and put him at first. Set up the double play with 1 out. This is one of those guys in the lineup you look at and say he's not going to beat me.
Shetter pumps one right through there. Colin Simpson was on the Big 12 all-tournament team last year, was 7 of 19, including 2 home runs, as Oklahoma State won the title. And the 3-1 fly ball that's caught by Young. Simpson didn't get much of that. 2 away. You've seen Josh Young. You've seen Broxton Fulford behind the plate. Here's the rest of the defense. Little, Farhat, and Holt in the outfield. Michael Davis, the shortstop. And Klein and Warren complete the infield on the right side. So with 2 gone and Kroon at second base, here is John Littell. Littell had a very good series against Texas Tech last week. Homered, drove in 4 runs. And it was his resurgent play that helped Oklahoma State get off to such a great start in Big 12 conference action. Ended up finishing second. Losing those 3 games to Texas Tech last weekend helped Texas claim the outright title. Littell pops this one up. That'll soar out behind the plate. Foul ball. Beautiful afternoon here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. The wind has picked up a little bit. It's out of the south, blowing toward left and left center today.
Good crowd, though. They're all up under the underhang. It doesn't appear to have a crowd here, but there is a very good crowd from foul pole to foul pole. A lot of them up into the shade at this point because it is warm. A little humidity.
There goes the runner. 1-2 pitch is pop foul into the seats again. Weather's supposed to be great through Sunday. Very, very slim rain chances. Temperature's supposed to be in the upper 80s, low 90s. What a great Memorial Day weekend and a terrific way to get it started here at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. Another 1-2 coming to Littell. Rips this one past the diving shortstop Davis. Little is up with it. Around third comes Kroon. Oklahoma State's on the board. An RBI single from John Littell.
The senior continues to produce in good big situations for his ball club. His 39th RBI. He advanced to second on the throw to the plate. And Oklahoma State's going to take an early 1-0 lead in this contest. Ahead in the count, made a mistake, left the ball up out of the zone, far out of the reach of the shortstop Davis for the Red Raiders, not able to make a play on it. The throw, which bounced away, I still think Littell was on his way to second either way. So it gives Funk a chance now to get another one in for the Cowboys.
Littell has driven in 5 runs against Texas Tech this season. And that's his 39th run driven in overall. Christian Funk, the batter. Off-speed pitch on the inner half from Ryan Shetter. Funk was 2 out of 5 last night. Scored a run and drove in a run. Now to Christian Funk. Junior from Hewitt, Texas, came through Fresno City Community College. Did Christian Funk. Honorable mention All Big 12 this year. Had a knee injury as a sophomore there at Fresno City Community College.
I mentioned yesterday, guys like Funk all of a sudden slipped through the cracks as far as West Coast schools because of the injury. There are so many Division I, very prominent programs up and down the West Coast, and then you have an injury like that. A phone call gets to Oklahoma State, and the next thing you know, you're here and you're a very productive player for them.
That's what he's been.
Davis tried to slip into the backside of Littell for a pickoff. Shetter didn't even look back till it was too late. As a pitcher, you've got to look and communicate because you do not want to throw the ball to home plate with the whole left side opened up.
3 balls and a strike now to Christian Funk. .238 hitters, had some pop. 6 homers, 30 runs driven in. Good pitch by Shetter that touches the outside edge to send the count full.
It shows you the respect to Funk, though. It's a 3-1 breaking ball.
And here comes the payoff. Funk lines this one off the facing of the upper deck and back out onto the field. That rolls all the way back out to Brian Klein, the second baseman. And he'll toss toss it up to some kiddos who have either taken the day off from school or are already out for the summer. Wouldn't that be great? Like the first day that you are out for the summer break, you get to come watch baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay all day.
Well, and realistically, any day is a good day to watch a lot of baseball.
Sure.
That's why I love going to the Little League parks now and watching grandchildren. The experience, seeing kids all over the park play. I like watching Little League baseball. College baseball.
You're at a game every day.
Pretty much. Except mow day, Chad. We have mow days at my house where we mow a few yards.
I'll come for the Little League games and not be there for mow day.
Well, I have a left-handed and a right-handed weed eater, so you're good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Pop up. It's on the infield. Brian Klein, the second baseman, having a look at it, says I have it, and he does. Inning over. But an RBI single by John Littell has Oklahoma State on the board. The Cowboys strike first in this elimination game, and once again it is their senior John Littell coming through for them. 1-0 Cowboys headed to the top of the second inning here at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship on Fox Sports. What must it feel like to be Spider-Man, climbing up the side of the Devon Tower?
I had fun doing that. That was good. I sat right out on that field and just kind of went up the side of it on the side of the helicopter and hung out the window.
I wouldn't even buy that. You in a helicopter, I don't want to see.
Well, I wasn't flying it. I was just riding around.
Just riding around it?
Yeah, I'm not going to fly one.
Devon Tower, the tallest building on the Oklahoma City skyline, just a couple of blocks from here, the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. 1-0 Oklahoma State leading this elimination game. Cameron Warren, the local product, leading things off here from Midwest City, about 10 or 15 miles away from here. Carl Albert High School. Midwest City has produced a couple of big leaguers of note. Matt Kemp, he was a Midwest City high school guy.
Pretty good basketball player.
JT Realmuto, who is the catcher for the Marlins, he's a Carl Albert High School guy. In fact, I believe he drove in a run last night for Florida.
Not long, don't know how long he's going to be there. But
no, if the trade deadline passes and he's still a Marlin, it'll be a bit surprising, won't it?
It will be. I know Stan Meek, who is the scouting director that lives in Norman, former University of Oklahoma coach, has been able to pick off a lot of guys in the Oklahoma area and have made it to the major league level. Very excited for the opportunity to work with Derek Jeter and Brian Dimbo, who has come in to run the minor league system, start to rebuild the organization.
3-2 pitch to Warren, fouled out of play. Speaking of JT Realmuto, did you know that he is the nephew of Oklahoma State legendary wrestling coach John Smith?
I did not.
Yes, he is.
Well, then don't get in a family quarrel.
No, he's not the guy you want to go to the mound on. JT Realmuto trailing. This is drilled. High fly ball to deep left by Cameron Warren, and this baby is gone. Has to be special for Cameron Warren. No doubt family members here watching him play from just down the road in Midwest City. He's tied this game with a solo blast to deep left field. The 8th pitch of the at-bat. Carson Teal gives up the home run. And for Cameron Warren, that's his 9th RBI, number 48.
Mistake made by Teal. Ball right down the middle. They wanted that ball in on his hands. It appeared to stay right in the middle of the plate and allow a strong man to use that lower half an extension, and he got after it. Ended up on top of the Budweiser sign.
So the Cowboys got a run on a Littell RBI single. Red Raiders have answered. It's one apiece as Michael Davis, the shortstop, is in. 72 home runs hit by the Red Raiders this year, 4 of them off of Carson Teal. Davis, it's a high fly ball. Wynn's going to carry this one out toward the warning track. A long run, and Boone couldn't reach it. And that bounds over into the Oklahoma State bullpen and sends Boone down to the warning track dirt. I don't know if Littell didn't see that ball, George. It was certainly tailing toward him.
One thing we don't hear is the conversation between two players in the outfield, and I think obviously Boone let him know, I got it. And as it sliced away from the left-handed bat and got further, you see Littell kind of veer to the left away from the baseball, and then Boone has to drive and make a diving catch on this right on the warning track. Comes up short about a foot.
You see Michael Davis, he's thinking, I'm hitting third. Oh, it bounded over into the bullpen for a ground rules double.
Yeah, Rob Walton out for a quick visit with Teal right now. Just got to make sure everything's on the same page. He's one of those guys Rob can say a couple of things, it clicks, and they go from there with it.
So Rob Walton just that visit with Carson Teal. Michael Davis, his 16th double. Second most on this Texas Tech team. Teal already 11 pitches here in the second. And the pitch count up to 36 for the Cowboy left-hander. He will deal with Cody Farhat, the center fielder.
So when's the first day of the regionals? I'm just sitting here starting to think about that.
Thursday.
So it'd be Thursday or Friday, the first day. Today is Thursday, so you still have plenty of 7-day rest on this deal.
Right.
When you go through, I didn't know if a lot of both these teams might try to piece some stuff together too.
How about a square and slash by Farhat that nearly hit Tim Tadlock down to the third base box.
You know, Tim doesn't get very excited about, I think, probably hunting and chicken fried steak. I mean,
is that true?
Just kind of the slow motion relaxation of watching it. Well, I'm going to say it's true, whether I know it or not. What Oklahoma guy doesn't like chicken fried steak? Come on.
Well, he's a Lubbock
Never
guy.
mind, you don't eat that.
That's bad for you, George.
It's wonderful for you. He's a Lubbock guy, but coached here in Oklahoma.
One of these days on a broadcast, I'm going to give the George Frazier diet for a day and just see what a cardiologist would think of that.
And you're going to find out a lot of people are on my diet. more than are on your peanut butter balls you eat, or whatever those things you call them.
No, I walk around the ballpark. I got a good idea what the diets are.
Yeah.
Farhat fouls this one up and over. Just a ball player is Cody Farhat. When you hear Tim Tadlock talk about him, just going to show up, put in his work every day, write his name on the lineup card, probably go out and get you a hit or two, not make any defensive mistakes. And you have to have these guys near the bottom of your lineup. Oh, 0-2 on Farhat. He was 1 for 3 last night. He had 5 hits in the series between these teams in Stillwater last week. Red Raiders won all 3 games. They won the opener 9-4. Ryan Shetter got the win in relief, pitched 6 innings, and he gets the start today.
2 strikes up on the knob, about 2 inches. If you look at his stance, and all of a sudden he is going to basically widen the stance and make it a hand swing with 2 strikes.
Another 0-2, lines that one to the back screen. Red Raiders really elevating the pitch count of Teal. The 6th pitch of the at-bat to Farhat coming here. Swing and a miss. Farhat down on strikes. Saw 6 pitches, but Teal is able to register his 3rd strikeout of the day.
Now, once you stay down in the zone, you elevate, you can get the ball by a lot of people. The late, great Tom Widmeyer, who was a longtime minor league pitching coach, worked with Roy Halladay, the late Roy Halladay, in their minor league quest through baseball, and Al lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and for the longest time he'd talk to you and say, if you're a guy that's down, don't be afraid to go up occasionally. Just change the eye level of a hitter.
That's what Teal was able to do there. Get Farhat. And here's Braxton Fulford. Fulford was 2 for 2 in last night's game, the loss to TCU. 16th start of the year. And a .269 hitter. There goes Michael Davis to third. It's a strike from Colin Simpson. Newstifter tags him, and that's out number 2. Michael Davis caught stealing for only the second time this year.
Very good job by Simpson. Watch, slide step right behind and makes the perfect on-top throw well in advance of the runner getting into third base.
It was a good tag by Newstifter as well. That right hand of Davis nearly snuck around him into the bag. And you could see Newstifter kind of at the last instant stick that arm up there and slap tag him. 3 balls and a strike to Fulford, the number 9 batter. Each team with a run on 2 hits. The top seed is out of this Phillips 66 Big 12 championship. And you ask all the coaches about what happened yesterday, all the lower seeds winning, they said not surprised.
Well, there's a lot of parity in this league.
And there's ball 4. Teal thought it was strike 3.
Yeah, he was headed to the dugout. Made the pitch he wanted to end the inning.
So Fulford goes to first. We'll get another look.
You can see the reaction from Teal after the pitch is thrown. He thought it was strike 3. Stares into the dugout at Rob and Josh and returns back to the mound.
He's issued his 3rd walk, and it's back to the top of the order for Holt. Holt grounded out to Matt Kroon, the shortstop, to start the game. But back to the parity in this league. When you talk about a Kansas team that was the 8th seed beating Texas yesterday, well, their starting pitching, at least at the front, is as good as just about anybody. Jackson Goddard yesterday. You've got Ryan Zefferjon as well. They can really pitch it, and that's your number 8 seed. And then you go to a West Virginia team that has battled injury all season long. They're able to win. Just depth in this conference. In fact, maybe the deepest it's ever been. So you would expect 5-6 teams in the NCAA tournament. Certainly Texas Tech in a position to be a regional host and a national seed for the 3rd straight year. Texas has done enough to be able to host a regional.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree. Particularly the way they played the last 2 weeks in conference play.
And they won the 2nd toughest league in the country. Oklahoma State going to be in the NCAA tournament. Probably need to do some work if they want to host. You would love to see West Virginia, TCU get in there, and they both won their games yesterday.
Well, the RPI is going to fluctuate daily.
Right.
I'm not sure where it is today, but I know Kansas was 93 prior to coming into this today. So you know they're going to jump. They should jump and deserve to jump.
TCU made a jump. Baylor may be the hottest team in the entire conference. They're playing great baseball.
They are.
Got a wonderful start from Cody Bradford yesterday. Their RPI climbed about 5 spots. Already pitch number 53 for Carson Teal, coming to Gabe Holt. Up and in and got him. So Teal has walked 3 and now hit a batter. That will move Fulford down to second base.
Stepping to the plate now, second baseman Brian Klein.
25 pitches in the first, 28 and counting here in the second. Brian Klein is the batter. Red Raiders have tied it on a Cameron Warren home run here. And they have mounted a 2-out rally. Teal struck Brian Klein out back in the first. Three strikeouts and 3 walks, and that means a lot of pitches. Klein waves through one.
And the hard part is he gets to 0-2, 1-2 really quick, and then it's foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, ball 2, foul ball, ball 3, and those foul balls really drive up your pitch count. The walks and the hit batsman obviously does not help, but the foul balls will drive you crazy when you can't get that final put away pitch on a hitter.
There's one right there. Klein able to foul one back. Count stays 1-2. Brian Klein, sophomore from Keller, Texas. That'll make it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I know a lot of times pitching coaches want to elevate, but I think it has to be an elevation of trying to at least induce a swing. You throw it that high, shoulders and above, they're not going to swing at that.
Klein scored 6 runs in the series between these teams last weekend. 2-2 pitch for him. Teal's able to get the strikeout, his 4th of the day. But the Red Raiders have tied it. It's Cameron Warren, the local product from Midwest City, Oklahoma, touching off his 9th long ball of the year. 1 apiece as we hit the bottom of the 2nd in Bricktown.
I think one of the big guys for us, our leadoff hitter, Gabe Holt, who won Big 12 Freshman of the Year. He just added an element to the game with speed that really helps us. Gets on base, the ground ball in the infield, gets on, steals second base, gets in scoring position, scores a lot of runs. I think he just adds a big element to our offense.
That is last year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year talking about this year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Josh Young with a little kind word for Gabe Holt. 341 average, 5 homers, 33 runs driven in for Gabe Holt. They just keep recruiting well and finding guys that are ready to plug and play out in Lubbock.
Well, it's kind of like with the Dodger organization. Here we sit in one of their top affiliate minor league ballparks. I mean, they ran off like 5 of 10 and were National League Rookies of the Year.
Seager and Bellinger.
Yeah. Well, Rick started with Rick Sutcliffe back in '78.
Oh, you're going way back.
Yeah,
one of your former teammates, the Red Baron.
But these guys do the same thing. I mean, when you think about this, top 5 team in the country, top 10 annually, yet they find one freshman that's going to get enough at bats and affect the game and be able to allow them to win Freshman of the Year.
Trevor Boone drives one toward left. Little back, leaps, and grabs it as he slides out near the warning track. I don't think he saw that well off the bat, but Little was able to make up for it.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a lot of glare off of the seats or the stands, but big swing, backspin. Ball had more carry than it did topspin, and last, a leap at the second made the catch.
Grant Little going airborne to pull that one in and rob Trevor Boone for the first out.
That reminded me of you at Enid High School.
Well, that's a fallacy because I went to Shawnee High School.
Okay, well, that reminds me of you at Shawnee.
And I didn't make plays like that anywhere.
Sure you did.
No.
Tell your kids you did.
George, it's not good to lie to your children.
Well, you're not lying. You made it somewhere. It might be in your mind. It wasn't actually on the field, but you made it.
They've seen me throw batting practice. They know. Michael Newstifter is the batter. Check swing, foul ball. You make a good point, though, about Texas Tech. And when you've got guys who immediately come in and contribute, makes it a little easier to recruit. You say, hey, come out here. We'll get you in there. As you can see, guys are winning awards as freshmen.
Well, when you get better, you lose a lot of guys through the draft. I think that's one thing people don't realize. You start to lose. And TCU talked about it last night. They lost one right before the draft. It would have been an impact player for them as a freshman. That makes it tough to replace those guys. So these freshmen kind of get thrown into the fire, and Those 2 months or month and a half of practice you have in the fall can really separate that freshman.
Newstifter lifts one into right center field, and it'll tail toward Gabe Holt. 2 gone. We were talking with Tim Tadlock a little bit the other day about that, and he's just got ball players. Holt and Young, Davis. We talked about also the Michael Davis's shortstop. He said Davis, I think he likes to play catch more than he likes to play baseball. Just a ball player. And I asked him, can you go out and find those guys? Is that a recruitable quality? And he said really can't be around them enough to know how much they love the sport. But you get lucky with a few of them, and that's happened for the Red Raiders.
But you know where you walk into a ballpark and you can watch a player and you go, okay, he thinks he's in the big leagues. He's actually in 10th grade. But he thinks and acts and treats the game like he's in the big leagues. Every call's against him. You know, every ball I swing, everything's wrong. And then you see that guy, Connor Russellton over at Moore a couple of years ago, Westmore, was that guy. Hustled in and out, played the game right. Up 10, down 10, he played the same the entire time. Those kind of guys impress you. Those kind of guys you just kind of stick to them because it's a guy you want to have help build an organization, whether it's in college or professionally.
Carson McCusker, a big 6'8" right fielder. And a 3-1 count on him. McCusker was 0 for 4 last night. Swing and a miss. He's got a solid mustache starting to blossom on that upper lip.
Just for men.
You say he needs to color it?
Oh, bring it right on in. Fill it on up.
Swing and a miss. The tag applied by Fulford. McCusker strikes out. Shetter works a 1-2-3 second inning and gets a little help from his left fielder, Grant Little, leaving his feet sprawling toward the warning track to rob a hit from Trevor Boone and keep this game tied at 1 headed to the 3rd. Elimination game here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. We welcome you back into the 2018 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Cowboys and Red Raiders tied at 1. It'll be the middle part of this Texas Tech lineup. And it's been a bit of a struggle for Carson Teal. He has only given 1 run, but he's thrown 58 pitches through 2 innings. He needs a quick one here, George.
Well, a couple of walks, a hit batsman, back-to-back extra base hits that you got to bear down. We call them high-stress innings, and that's what he went through those first couple of innings while being on the mound, was able to pitch out of it with limited damage. That's what you expect out of your seniors. You expect them to be able to pull that off.
1-1 now. Josh Young walked his first time. Teal got the first 2 men easily in the first. Ground ball and a strikeout, but then back-to-back walks to Young and Little. Kind of came out of the blue and elevated that pitch count. And 2-1 now. No real throwing happening in the Oklahoma State bullpen. Just some guys standing around, ready if they need to start getting loose. Not going to take long on this very warm May afternoon. 3-1 to Young. And you see just a little bit of stirring. Full count now on Young. Young was last year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, maybe one of those games that Rob says, all right, 75, 80 pitches, good, bad, or ugly. That's what you're going, and then we'll get you out of there, and the next guy come in and pick you up from there.
Ball 4. Young walks for the second time.
He's tried to go to the secondary command of the slider when he's been in hitters counts, and when I say a hitters count, a fastball count, and he hadn't been able to command the slider like he wants to.
So Carson Teal has issued 4 walks, and he has hit a batter. 4 strikeouts, but he is flirting with danger again. And a quick toss over there to try to keep Young close. Grant Little, the batter, he also walked in the first. Teal able to paint the outside edge to Little. Grant Little out of Midland, Texas. His dad, Mike, played basketball at Baylor. He had a big series in Stillwater last weekend, hit 2 home runs against Oklahoma State. Nothing in 2.
And this is where we've had problems all the way through the game for Carson Teal. 0-2 really quick and then work back into hitters counts of 3-2 and 2-2. The inability to close them out. He's come up with big strikeouts, don't get me wrong, but being able to finish them off before you get to 3-2.
And he does. Elevates that pitch a little bit to Little, and that's the 5th strikeout for Carson Teal.
And you won't see that very often with Little. You see, when you say elevated, that was chest high. That was not something that was above the neck area, hoping to get there. 5th 0-2 count in the ball game for Carson Teal as you work here in the 3rd inning.
And again, he throws over to try to keep Young close. Young is only 4 out of 10 in stolen bases. That was actually a little closer than you thought it might be.
Got him napping. A couple of people over there.
There goes Young. Swing and a miss. Simpson a little bit toward the second base side of the bag. That bounced off of Young after it went past Matt Kroon. And everybody will be safe. Are they sending him back? They are sending Young back. Let's see here. Was it interference on the batter on Reams? There's a conversation going right now between Christopher Griffith and Tim Tadlock.
Well, if there's interference, then the runner's out.
Was time called?
No, the batter swung at the ball, didn't he?
Yep.
And it is 0-1. I'm not sure. No balk was called.
Pitch clock is not in play with the runner on base. I'm out of options, George.
I'm way out of options.
Teal continues to try to hold Josh Young close. And here's the 1-1 for Reams. A pop-up. The wind may keep this in play. Colin Simpson shades his eyes, and indeed the wind does keep it in play for Simpson. And that's the second out. You get that ball up above the stadium and the wind will blow it back toward the field.
Well, it naturally has backspin on the baseball when a guy hits it back. So as a catcher, you don't run to the screen. You stay back and wait for it to come to you. And that's exactly what Simpson did. Nice job hanging on to the mask. He cleared that once he saw where the flight of the ball was starting to descend and was able to get there and make the play. But the ball's going to have that backspin. It's going to come back to you some. But the wind aided that, no question.
Explain what you were talking about there. I think it's a good lesson for young catchers about him hanging on to the mask.
Well, it's important because as you throw, if you throw the mask early, then the ball starts to drift back to where your mask is. What's going to happen? You're going to fall down, miss the play. Carry the mask with you as you get to your position. Throw it far enough away.
This one is swung on and drilled to deep left field, and Cameron Warren is having a day just miles from his hometown. He blasts a two-run shot. That follows a solo home run in the second, and the Red Raiders have a 3-1 lead.
Couple magical numbers there. 50 RBIs now, and then now 10 home runs. You get to double digits. Both of those home runs seem to land in almost the exact same spot. Fastball down and in, dropped a hammer. That ball traveled again over the Budweiser sign. Here where they have what they call the Budweiser deck out in left field.
2 home runs for Cameron Warren, the Midwest City Carl Albert High School product. And it's 3-1. Red Raiders now. 10 home runs for Warren this year. And Texas Tech as a team has clubbed 73. And again, the walk to Young to start the inning. He scores on the play as well. Teal makes quick work of Michael Davis, but not before he gives up the second home run of the day by Cameron Warren. Both of them to deep left field. 3-1 Red Raiders. Red Raiders on top 3-1 in this elimination game at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. So Oklahoma State will have to rally. And they will do so against a guy who was able to beat them last week. It's been kind of a tough month. Caught a red-hot Baylor team and also Texas Tech. And now they'll have to play their way through this elimination game. Couple of home runs for Warren, and Texas Tech has 3 runs posted. Hewitt, Rosa, and Kroon coming to the plate for Oklahoma State. Max Hewitt making his 4th straight start. Big swing at that pitch. Ryan Shetter. Shetter gave up the RBI single to John Littell in the first. Probably hear the wind a little bit in the crowd microphone. I don't think that either home run that Warren hit was impacted by the wind. None. Those were missile launches.
The only thing that got impacted was the baseball.
And maybe the Budweiser deck. Hewitt fouls that one off, and it's 1-2.
So I've tried to figure out the parking garage thing.
Okay. What are you confused about?
Well, here's the thing. I think people can load up their car, sit in the back of the pickup, pay $5 to park, go to the top and have a little, what do they call it, tailgate party while they watch baseball. What do you think?
What are you confused about?
Nothing. Why not buy a ticket and come in and sit down and watch the game?
Well, I agree. This is backhanded in the hole by Davis and a strong throw to get Hewitt. I think it's tailgating. You know, this is a football area, and people like to tailgate, even if it's at a baseball game. I think it's probably a little more than $5 to park up there.
You think?
But it's $5 per car, and you can load up as many people as you want. Kind of like the old drive-in days where you'd pay $5 to go into the drive-in. You could take 20 people in your car.
You can still do that, you know.
Yeah, if you can find a drive-in.
They're everywhere.
They're not everywhere.
Everywhere.
This one swung on and popped up by Rosa. Brian Klein will make the catch for out number 2. 6 in a row retired by Ryan Shetter now.
Stepping to the plate now, shortstop Matt.
That'll bring in Matt Kroon, who singled and scored the Oklahoma State run back in the first. You could even go one better, George, really, and get a room at the Hampton Inn back there and watch in air-conditioned comfort from your hotel room through the window.
From the 4th floor through the 8th floor?
Right. You get a good view over the wall out there. Kroon lifts one into left center field, chased down by Little. And it's back-to-back 1-2-3 innings out there for Ryan Shetter. His Red Raiders lead it 3-1 at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Red Red Raiders coming to the plate with a 3-1 lead in the top of the fourth of this elimination game at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. It is trivia time, and we give you 3 for the price of 1, even though it's free one way or the other. The highest scoring game in Big 12 tournament history. What was the year? Who were the teams? How many runs were scored? And what was the final score? I suppose that's 4 questions. But if you get how many runs, then you will probably get the final score as well. The answer coming up shortly. I can't even venture a guess, although it is Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Maybe that provides a hint for us. Red Raiders have Farhat, Fulford, and then the leadoff man Holt, and Carson Teal is back out there. 74 pitches. He's given 3 hits, 3 earned runs with 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. Farhat struck out his first time. Right back to Teal. Boy, Teal needs a couple of plays like that to extend his outing today. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th.
Now batting catcher Braxton Fulford.
Here's Braxton Fulford. He walked back in the 2nd inning.
The lack of the ability to throw that slider for strikes consistently. It's been the one thing that's gotten them a little bit. By the way, the RPIs came out again.
Within the last 20 minutes?
In the bottom half of the 3rd.
That's quick.
Yeah, changes by inning.
That's possible with all the analytics and computerization.
KU jumped into the top 80 with that win yesterday.
It's a good win for them.
TCU 61, West Virginia 49, OU at 41. OU won today against Texas, which was a top seed coming in, so I'm sure they'll get back into the 30s.
Yeah, Oklahoma with a win over the 18 RPI team in Texas.
Stay tuned. It will change after this game.
2-2 pitch, low and in. I think the important thing with these teams, though, the non-conference scheduling. Josh Holliday was talking with us about that the other day. Where Texas went out and played a tough non-conference schedule. Stanford and Arkansas. Kansas played Florida State, Missouri State. Swing and a miss by Fulford. He's out on strikes. Boy, Teal's racking up the strikeouts. That's 7.
It is true that if you go down and play the Missouri States, Wichita State this year 33-19, I think, or 33-20, had a good year. Missouri State's always good. Arkansas, top 5 team in the country. Stanford at one point was number 1 in the country. It's not an easy schedule to run out there and try to play it. Every year Dallas Baptist is extremely good, which Oklahoma State.
Baylor played Dallas Baptist as well. Baylor played UCLA and Texas A&M early, too. Tough scheduling. Gabe Holt is 0 for 1. Got hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. He's also grounded out. This is a much more efficient inning so far for Carson Teal. In the air, well hit into right center field, but a lot of real estate out there for Trevor Boone, and that's the best inning so far for Carson Teal. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. 3-1, Red Raiders on top. Carson Teal with 7 strikeouts in the early going. Now he will see if his offense can pick up the pace at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. Red Raiders on top 3-1 here at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Texas has gone down and been eliminated. Oklahoma got them 3-1. Blake Brewster hitting a home run for the Sooners in that game. So Texas goes 2 and out. Oklahoma advances to play at 3:15 tomorrow. We have 2 winners bracket games left. So we will have Baylor and Kansas scheduled for 4 o'clock. Bill Dolman, Mickey Tettleton will bring you that. And then George and I are back to call West Virginia TCU tonight at 7:30 in Division II of this championship. Colin Simpson leading things off for Oklahoma State. Popped up to Young, the third baseman, his first time. Simpson had a hit last night. Cheddar fell behind Simpson 3-0 last time, but then was able to induce that pop-up. It is 2-0 here. We have replay available here in the Big 12 Championship.
Has
I don't
it been
believe
used?
we've had one. You and I certainly have not.
No, you and I haven't. I just wondered if maybe Mickey and Bill had one in a game.
I don't believe it's been in play.
But it's not a request by the managers, just so you understand. It's
right.
If the umpires feel that they need to look at that to solidify their decision, they will do that. Otherwise, you can't go out if you're the head coach and go, hey, I want to see that. I want to review that play that just happened. That's not the way this is going to work.
Simpson strikes out to start the fourth. Three strikeouts for Cheddar. That's 8 in a row retired by the Red Raiders right-hander. Here's Littell, who drove in the Cowboy run with a base hit that scored Matt Kroon in the first. Littell now 3 out of 6 in the Big 12 Championship. These two pitching staffs each have been hit by injury, as Littell takes strike 2. Of course, Texas Tech has been out without their star, last year's Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, Stephen Gingery, who threw only 19 pitches on opening weekend against Maine.
Yeah, that was a huge loss for their club.
Littell bounces this one fair between Josh Young and the third base bag. That rumbles down into the left field corner, and Littell has a sliding double here in the Oklahoma State fourth. He is 2 for 2 in this game and 4 out of 7 in the Big 12 Championship.
The senior wants to play. He will get an opportunity professionally, I believe. Plays a decent outfield, swings a good enough bat. Somebody will give him that chance to go out and play a little bit. Had an RBI earlier in the ball game, and a 1-out double here in the fourth.
It's his 11th double of the year, Littell's 16th multi-hit game. And here is Christian Funk. And that's past Young and down the left field line. Littell churns around third and touches home plate to make it a 1-run ball game. Christian Funk goes to the opposite field. The Cowboys back-to-back hits, and we have ourselves a 3-2 game.
Who sliced the ball way off of the line, as they should be. But again, once you start to play, to pull on a guy and you pitch him away, you're going to run into that danger of late swings. With pretty good velocity, 90, 91 mile an hour fastball, there's a chance they're going to slice it the opposite field.
That is 31 runs batted in for Christian Funk. And Trevor Boone is the batter. He flied out to Little, the left fielder, his first time. 1-1 the count. Skied foul over on the third base side by Trevor Boone. That'll take it to a ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful sunshiny day. Free suntans are available.
Free?
Free.
Free. Totally free.
Won't charge you a thing.
You got to get in the ballpark.
Yeah, but once you do that, it's free.
What are those Wrigley Field days in the bleachers,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Did you ever sit in the bleachers and watch a game, like from the bullpen, just climb up in there and watch when you were playing?
No, that wouldn't be good. No.
It would be good. It'd be good for you, just maybe frowned upon.
Well, I did as an announcer. I went out and sat and watched.
From the bleachers?
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of fun.
The 2-2 is fouled back. Where did you sit in the bleachers and broadcast?
Right under the scoreboard.
At Wrigley?
I just had a mic and one of those wireless things. What do they call that?
Microphone.
No, with the wireless, all that. And I don't know. So I just walked out there to sit down with some fans, talked to them for a while, did the game.
Nice.
Then I walked back up to the booth.
Not a full broadcast.
No, but it took me a while to get back.
Boone lifts one to right over near the line. Holt barely in foul ground, grabs that. 2 gone. Back to first base goes Christian Funk after his RBI single, and Michael Newstifter will be the bat. Newstifter, sophomore from Carrollton, Texas, second team All Big 12 this year, hitless so far in the Big 12 championship. Newstifter, a guy that did some catching and DHing last year. Then they placed him at one of the corner outfield spots. But about midway through the season, they wanted to get a bigger, more physical lineup in there. So Matt Kroon moved over to shortstop, and Newstifter came in to play third. Newstifter flied out to right. That was back in the second. Michael Davis up with it. He'll go the short route to Klein to get the force play, and the inning's over. But John Littell's done it again for the Cowboys. He doubles and then scores on Christian Funk's RBI single. We've got a 1-run game moving to the 5th. Good one going here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. 3-2 Texas Tech. We move to the 5th, and Oklahoma State head coach Josh Holliday kind enough to join us for just a moment. John Littell has been in the lineup a lot for you for 4 years, a team that went to Omaha, and he's doing it once again today. What has he meant to your program, in particular some of the younger players you have now?
Well, guys like John are everything to your program. I mean, he's a fantastic person, first and foremost. He's a great student. He's been one heck of a player for us on the field. He cares about other people. He works hard. He sets a great example how to go about your business in a first-class way. So you can't have enough kids like John Littell.
And even though, Coach, you realize you look out on this field for some of the seniors for the last time walking out here into this tournament, does it hit you now or does it hit you 4 days from now?
No, you got to be in the moment right now, man. No time to sit here and worry about that stuff. We got to get back in here and try to win this game.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back to it.
Okay,
thank you. With us.
Thank you.
Head coach of the Cowboys, Josh Holliday, watches Carson Teal go back out. His most efficient inning came the last time he was out there in the 4th. Did you feel like he found anything, more strikes,
a little
able to
better
finish?
Slider. You know, not to disagree with Josh, but I think a lot of times off the glove, picked it short on the first for the out. Is that you can't help but use that as a motivating factor, I think, for your club sometimes. Let's do this for Carson Teal, Littell, play hard. Some of you guys are going to be here 2 or 3 more years. Some of you aren't. But let's try to have a strong finish and play the way Cowboys know how to play in this last deal for some of these guys to be able to play in this ballpark. Some may come back and play in AAA at some point into this ballpark, but as a Cowboy wearing that uniform means a lot to guys.
Kind of a mini shift there with Klein at the plate. Kroon was in easy position to make that play. Here's Young. 5 straight sat down by Carson Teal, his best run of the afternoon. Young has walked twice. Young, first team All Big 12. Leading hitter in the conference during the regular season. Teal able to send one over the outside edge. 1-2. Josh Young, right in the heart of this Texas Tech lineup. Teal will have to try to navigate that once again here. He's run the count full. Young lines that one off the press box and club seating area. Count stays at 3-2. Seventh pitch of this at bat.
Let's not talk about all these foul balls. It's not so much the balls, meaning strikes and balls, is the ones that have been fouled off. There's probably been 25. And that just drives that count even higher and higher and higher. I mean, Craig Mann just told me, our statistician, we had 26 actually.
26 foul balls. But that's typical of Texas Tech.
5 innings.
In the air to straightaway center field. Boone jogs back, pulls that one in rather casually out on the warning track. Young got a lot of that pitch. Trivia question answer. Seems like an inning ago that we asked this question.
It was like an hour ago.
It may have been. We got busy. We got to take care of business now. Do you know the answer to any of these?
No.
Highest scoring game in Big 12 championship history. The year, the teams, the runs, and the final score. Oklahoma versus Texas Tech, 1997. It was 19-17. 36 runs were scored. Grant Little sends a deep drive to left center field. Boone can't reach it. It bounces onto the warning track and then onto the grass hill. Right over the 415 sign. Little with a 2-out double to keep the 5th inning alive for the Red Raiders.
He put a charge into the baseball, I can tell you that. One of the deepest parts of this park. Out in left center field. It's 400 dead center, 415 into the little corner. And exactly where he had hit it on a ball out over the plate that's allowed to extend those arms. There's a little thunder in him. As Boone tried to get there, came up short by about a foot, bounced up on the grass hill.
And Rob Walton comes out for a visit with Carson Teal. They've been cruising along pretty good. Teal had retired 6 straight before that double, which for Little is his 20th of the year. You got Zach Reams coming to the plate. And 2 outs. So can Teal get you through another inning? The bullpen is active for Oklahoma State.
I think Rob's just buying him a little more time down in the bullpen to get him ready to go because of the pitch count sitting at 94. You're going to have the regional starting here in about 6-7 days, I would think, unless Teal talked him into it. He did.
Reza Ali Aziz is out there loosening, working his way back from injury.
What a plus he was for their ball club. When he's healthy, it's nasty.
But Teal will stay in for a lefty-lefty matchup with Reams, who is 0 for 2. Well, if Teal could get you through 5 innings in a 1-run game with all the walks today, you wouldn't feel too bad about it, would you?
Feel pretty good. Be excited about the fact of what he accomplished.
Weems has struck out and popped up to the catcher, Colin Simpson. Swing and a miss from Reams. Teal 4 walks and 7 strikeouts. Big difference, though. He hasn't issued a walk since the leadoff man in the 3rd inning. Two-out double by Little.
Now, the interesting thing about all those walks that you keep mentioning about is only one of those has come around to score.
So Teal will indeed pitch through 5 innings. He gets Reams to ground out to Hewitt. Halfway through this elimination game at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship, the Red Raiders lead the Cowboys by a run. Back with you at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, 3-2 Red Raiders on top, and their head coach Tim Tadlock joins us from just outside the dugout. Visited with you earlier in the week about Cameron Warren playing about 15 miles from his home in Midwest City. Quite a day for him. What's been working so well for him this afternoon?
Well, he's got his pitch a couple times and put good moves on it, and found that Budweiser deck a couple times.
Yes, and that's not a close place either.
No, you know he's having a lot of fun playing here. He's been looking forward to this a long time, and probably sees the ball pretty good too. He's probably played a few games here.
What do you think of Ryan Shetter so far, Coach?
Well, he's over here with us now. I thought he was efficient. I mean, for a guy that wasn't really supposed to start the game, he gave us all we could ask him of, and you know he was pretty efficient through 4.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back to it down there.
Okay,
Thanks so
appreciate
much.
it, guys.
Tim Tadlock, head coach of the Red Raiders, the 2016 and 17 Big 12 champions, 2 appearances in the College World Series. So he turns to the bullpen for the first time this afternoon. A lot of arms available, as we saw last night. And this is Ty Harpinaugh.
Well, Harpinaugh in the season, I mean, this is a young man that you're going to see some work out of the bullpen during the regional. We're in a 3-2 ball game right now. Both teams have gotten 4 hits, a much cleaner game than last night for Oklahoma State, and an error has not been committed yet in this game.
Cusker leading things off, then Hewitt is due up. Possible we see a pinch hitter in this inning. But Cusker drives this one to center for Farhat to track down for the first out. One up and one down for Harpinaugh. Max Hewitt will be the batter. He grounded out to Michael Davis, the shortstop, his first time.
Now batting second baseman Max Hewitt.
Harpinaugh's work has all come out of the bullpen. A 5-2 record, 41 innings, 45 strikeouts, just 28 hits given up.
He's given them some really important innings as well. He's got wins in relief this year against a good South Alabama team. Got a win against Baylor, against Oklahoma, and got a win in the series with Oklahoma State as well. Valuable arm out of the bullpen. As Klein tracks this one down, bobbles it, and still is able to get Max Hewitt for the second out.
Now Hewitt has not got to play a lot. 4 start here in 4 straight days. He's going to take off up the line to try to beat this out after the double bobble, but come up just a little bit short. Hit right off the heel of the glove, bounced right to him perfectly where he could make the throw on to first base to Warren.
And back to the top of the order for Rosa, who's 0 for 2. Rosa, a big difference maker when he has been in the lineup, but that's been hard for him.
A tough break for the senior. It really has been. Battled injuries through most of his career there.
Had his first season back in 2015 cut short with an arm injury. Was able to play 2016. Last year started 34 games. He's missed time with a couple of injuries this year, including a bad foot. Rosa had 2 hits last night and a walk. But he has struck out and popped up to the second baseman Klein today. 3-2 Red Raiders. 2 home runs from Cameron Warren today. A solo shot and a 2-run blast. Harpinaugh misses low and away. And a full count to Rosa.
Worked ahead real quick, got to 1-2, and then all of a sudden a couple of sliders to run it to 3-2. Didn't induce the bite on the hard breaking ball, so you set yourself up to come back. When the pitches are called, which they typically are by your pitching coach, back to a fastball situation.
And he strikes out Rosa. Harpenoff from the bullpen works a 1-2-3 fifth inning and a 10-pitch efficient inning. He keeps the Red Raiders on top by a run, moving to the 6th inning at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship on Fox Sports. There's the man who has provided the 3 runs for Texas Tech today, Cameron Warren. He's due to lead off here in the 6th inning. He's hit a 2-run home run and a solo home run, and it's a 3-2 lead for Texas Tech. The junior outfielder from just down the road. He's landed in nearly identical spots, George, out in left.
It has. I bet they haven't. You could throw a blanket over them on both sides. It's about 3 or 4 feet apart. That's a happy young man right now.
Yeah, if you were throwing a party out there on the Budweiser deck, you better be wearing a hard hat with Cameron Warren at the plate today. Carson Teal was able to grit his way through 5 innings for Oklahoma State. He'll give way to Reza Ali Aziz. And you see what Texas Tech has done when they hit 2 or more home runs. How about that? They've done it 17 times this year, and they are unbeaten, including 9-0 against Big 12 competition.
Wow. Pretty impressive.
Well, they hit 5 in Game 2 of the series in Stillwater last week. And listen, this is not an anomaly for Texas Tech. They've been able to swing it well since Tim Tadlock arrived out in Lubbock. So Cameron Warren will lead things off. Hit a solo home run in the 2nd, a 2-run shot in the 3rd. Warren, then Michael Davis, and then Cody Farhat.
All to face Alizia, who is coming into this ball game for Oklahoma State. 410 earned run average, 3-1 overall record. He's made a couple of starts, 41 1/3. He has struck out 30, walked 26.
And he began his college career by signing at Oregon State, did not play there, and spent 2 seasons at Yavapai Junior College out in Arizona. 6'5", 218 pounds, Reza Ali Aziz. And deals a first pitch strike. And Ali Aziz, we told you, battled a little bit of injury and did not pitch in the series last weekend against Texas Tech. And Josh Holliday, Rob Walton were hoping to get him back here, and he is available. Warren lifts this one foul on the 3rd base side. That'll get out of play. Ali Aziz, we said Yavapai Junior College. That's where longtime former great Oklahoma State coach Gary Ward coached out there at Yavapai before Oklahoma State.
Well, Tom Holliday and Dave Holliday both played there under Gary Ward too. So they both went down to Miami University and then on over to coach here.
Count stays at 1-2 to Cameron Warren. Cameron Warren, Midwest City, was drafted by the Yankees in 2014, spent a season at Seminole State College, and he is down for the first time today as Reza Ali Aziz strikes him out.
I think we all knew that regardless of what this young man did after the 2 home runs, it really wouldn't matter. He'd still get an applause, but not on this hard slider. Backed up underneath the hands and got the strikeout.
And here is Davis, who doubled in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. The loser of this one will be eliminated. The winner will play tomorrow. It's a 7 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night. Davis takes inside. 2-1. it is 3 balls and a strike. Full count now. Oklahoma State got 4 sweeps in Big 12 conference play. Swept TCU, Kansas State, Kansas, and Oklahoma before they ran into trouble late. Ali Aziz, 3-2 pitch, grounded to Kroon. And that's 2 down.
Just the kind of clean innings you want to have happen. Just get things up and down and get your ball club back in the dugout, get them swinging the bat.
Cowboy pitchers have retired 9 of the last 10 since Warren hit his 2nd home run back in the 3rd. Between Teal and now Ali Aziz, who faces Farhat with 2 down and the base is empty. Pretty good pitch there.
Very good breaking ball.
And 0-2 to Farhat, who's 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd and hit one back to the pitcher at the time, Teal, in the 4th. The 2-strike pitch. Farhat steps out. There is a pitch clock, as we've told you about, with no runners on base. This one has popped up on the left side of the infield. New Stifter in foul ground makes the catch. A 1-2-3-6 out of the bullpen for Reza Ali Aziz. And the Cowboys, they trail by 1 and come to the plate after this in the bottom of the 6th. What a major announcement for the Oklahoma State baseball program a little over a month ago. Artist renderings here of the new Cowboy Baseball Stadium will be complete in 2020. $75 million, the entire project for the stadium and surrounding facilities, 3,500 seats, 13 suites. And what a commitment to baseball at Oklahoma State, as Josh Holliday was talking about with us earlier this week. Something they have wanted and needed for a long time. Replacing the existing Ali P. Reynolds Stadium, and the new baseball stadium in Stillwater set to be complete 2 years from now. Actually had a tie game at Ali P. Reynolds Stadium earlier this year. They have a tie on their record, do the Cowboys, against
There's no
Seton
ties
Hall.
in baseball.
Well, I agree with you, but when you've had a couple of weather delays and the opposing team has to catch a flight, you end up with a tie.
There is the bus.
It was Seton Hall. That's a long bus trip, George.
Scenic trip.
Indeed. Almost like the Griswolds in Vacation. That's how long that trip was. But they caught their flight and the game ended in a tie. First tie that Oklahoma State has had since 1985. Back to nearly your playing days.
Like I said, they don't have ties in baseball.
So you're just going to ignore the tie altogether.
I don't like the tie.
Exist.
Right, it doesn't exist. I mean, play baseball. If you've got to start the game at 7 in the morning, start it at 7 in the morning.
Mother Nature intervened that day.
I understand.
Ty Harpinaugh back out there. Worked a 1-2-3-5. He will deal with the heart of the order. 2, 3, and 4. Kroon, Simpson, and Littell. At Kroon, 1 out of 2. Singleton scored in the first. Three and 2 on Matt Kroon. The Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, the 3rd such award for Oklahoma State baseball. Zach Johnson and Tyler Mock have also won it. And there's ball 4. Harpinall issues the walk to start the 6th to Matt Kroon.
Yeah, not the way you want to do it. You get to the last 3 innings of a game, and it becomes very difficult, those 9 outs. You don't want to give the opposition any extra shot by walking leadoff man to start an inning.
That brings in Colin Simpson. He's had a quiet tournament, which is unusual. Hit 2 home runs in this event last year. Today he's popped to 3rd and struck out. Harpinall trying to keep that tying run close at first base.
This type of shift reminds me Barry Bonds type shift when he was still playing it, to hold everybody on the right side of the infield. Now they'll shift it back over again, make the change because of the 0-0 count.
And you can see at the bottom of your screen, Michael Davis, the shortstop, jog back over to what would be his regular spot.
Take away the bunt.
That's Young, the 3rd baseman, jogging back. Simpson fouls this one off.
We almost force when it's that far down the left field line. You got a 1-run game. In that situation, you're not going to leave it completely empty on the left. Well, they are here on a 0-1 count. But all you have to do is bunt the ball to the left side, and you've got 1st and 2nd, bunt again, 2nd and 3rd, and you got a fly ball tie game.
So you have all 4 infielders on the 2nd base side. Harpinall with the 0-1. Simpson showed bunt. Took that pitch, and it's even at 1-1. Now we'll see what the Red Raiders try to do. Back goes Young over toward the shortstop spot. I don't recall that I've seen this much pronounced shifting during one at bat. And 1-2 now. Simpson asking the plate umpire, Christopher Griffith, did I swing at a strike? And now it is 1-2, and back goes Young over to the other side. And Simpson just does get a piece of that one.
So the note was just given to me that my career was over. It was 1980. Yes, it was 76. That the Sooners actually tied Cameron 9-9.
There was a tie in baseball.
Yeah, and I'm going to call Enos and see if that's true.
Big at bat here, Colin Simpson. 1-2. Shift is on again, and he fouls this one toward the Red Raiders dugout. So how do you feel about all of the shifting? Certainly was not done back in your days.
No, I think you can overplay it, but I also think that it's beneficial if the pitcher can pitch to the situation. You know, last night we saw him pull, and you're pitching away. Well, if you're going to pitch away and they got decent hitters, he's just going to slap it the other way. Because of a 2-strike count, Colin Simpson, more than likely, his power is in the air, not on the ground. So when he hits a ball on the ground, it's going to be to the right side. If he gets the ball in the air, he can hit out to left, center, and right center. So, you know, where they're going to take their chances this way. So you get a ball hit to the right side, it could be 4-5-3 on the double play, which you haven't seen much.
No. 7th pitch of the at-bat to Colin Simpson coming here. Matt Kroon with the leadoff walk, and Harpenau continues to throw over to keep him close. There goes Kroon. Simpson rifles one toward left field. It will be caught by Little, and Kroon's going to have to sprint back to the bag. Well, Simpson was able to go to the opposite field. He hit it pretty well, but right at Grant Little. One gone.
You can see the big shift, and then it's that inside-out swing. If he gets it on the ground, obvious base hit. It even create more problems because now the throw's got to go all the way to the plate if there's a ball hit into the gap in left or right center. For the simple fact is you don't have any cutoff men.
Now the man who has been a part of both Oklahoma State runs is at the plate, John Littell. Drove in a run with a base hit in the first and then doubled and scored the second run in the fourth inning. There goes Kroon. Good pitch to throw for Fulford, and he throws a strike to gun down Kroon for out number 2. Kroon stole a base earlier. And that is only the 4th time this year he has been gunned down. So the base is clear. 2 down for Littell. Now 1-1 the count. Another multi-hit game for Littell. He's had 3 of them in 4 games against Texas Tech this year. This one into right center field. Long run. Farhat won't get there. That bounds over his head. Littell racing around second base, going to try for third. He will make it, diving with a triple. What a day for Littell. A single, a double, and now a triple. He's the tying run at third base in the 6th.
Yeah, it's outstanding running ability by Littell, too, because the ball was hit hard into right center field, some 390 feet away, opposite field. And when you hit a ball like this, you knew you got it all, but you're going to come around the bag pretty aggressively at first, thinking 3 all the way. You never want to have that third out at third base, but there was such a wide margin for him to get there. It made it relatively easy.
4th double for Littell this season. And now Christian Funk, who drove in the run back in the 4th inning, will be the batter. One in the air, right field. Gabe Holt has a beat on it, and he'll make the catch inning over. So Littell triples, but he is left stranded. It remains a 1-run Texas Tech lead moving to the 7th. Plenty of Cowboys and Red Raiders on hand today. 3-2. Texas Tech leads this elimination game. And plenty of Cowboys and Red Raiders on the all Big 12 teams as well. You see the first team, Young, Holt, Little for Texas Tech, and Caleb Killian and Zach Reams from the pitching staff all make the first team. Carson Teal for Oklahoma State, a first team all Big 12 performer. Second team populated by Cowboys, Colin Simpson, Matt Kroon, Michael Newstifter, and John Littell. Dotted with Red Raiders and Cowboys, the all Big 12 teams. Texas Tech would like to build upon this 1-run lead. Reza Ali Aziz worked a 1-2-3 6th inning on the hill for Oklahoma State. He goes to work against Braxton Fulford. Fulford has walked and struck out today. Ali Aziz an efficient 1-2-3 6th. And it's 1-2 now. Swing and a miss. Ali Aziz with his second strikeout. He's retired all 4 batters he's faced.
2 by strikeouts. The hard slider, good fastball was up to 93. One more look at the strikeout. Very good sinking fastball under the hand, swung right over the top of it.
Back to the top of the order. The 4th time Gabe Holt has batted. It's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a base hit to left field now. Littell fires that one back in.
Let's guess what he's going to be doing.
What he has done a lot of.
Or attempting to. 27 of 27 in stolen bases.
Got picked off last night. But you can imagine.
Yeah, Lodolo of TCU fired a bullet over there, and they were able to pick him off.
Here's Klein, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Red Raiders have had a man caught stealing today. Davis was thrown out by Colin Simpson at 3rd back in the 2nd. Another base hit to left field. Holt will have a look and stop at second base as Littell rockets that back in. Back-to-back singles by Holt and Klein, and here come the Red Raiders.
Stepping to the plate now, third baseman Josh Young.
Josh Young, the batter.
Just sliced the ball. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it. I mean, it's a pretty good job of hitting right there. Inside the hands, inside the baseball. Opposite field work.
See Simpson out to signal defensive instructions. Bullpen is active for Oklahoma State as well. Ben Leeper is out there. But Reza Ali Aziz will pitch to Josh Young.
Throws a lot of strikes. All you got to do is get lucky, get one on the ground, and get the double play ball or the strikeout if you work far enough ahead fast enough.
One and 1 to Young. Winners bracket game coming up next here at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. That'll be Baylor and Kansas. Scheduled first pitch at 4 o'clock. Bill Dolman, Mickey Tettleton will call it. Pulled foul outside of 3rd. Baylor yesterday blanked Oklahoma 4-0. Kansas behind Jackson Goddard won a 1-run game over Kansas 3-2. We've already seen Oklahoma eliminate Texas today 3-1. A Blake Brewster home run part of that for the Sooners. They are still alive, but the Longhorns are headed back to Austin. And that hits Young to load the bases.
Tried to drop down a little bit low 3/4 and create some sink on the ball, and it just ran to the backside of Young. Disappointment on the look of Simpson.
13th time that Young has been hit by a pitch this year. So they are loaded for the cleanup man, Grant Little. Reza Ali Aziz has given up 2 singles and hit a man. Grant Little doubled back in the 5th inning. His 20th of the year. Holt at 3rd, Klein at 2nd, Young at 1st. And the 0-1 is too tall. one is pulled to third. Newstifter up with it. He'll go to second for one. The relay is not in time, and Holt is able to score. So they try to go 6-4-3 rather than coming to the plate. Little beats the throw to first, and the lead is back to 2 for Texas Tech.
Big hop there, not going to go. That's probably the right move. Too far away from the bag to try to turn it. And then Hewitt had his back kind of momentum going away from it, step back behind the bag, and the throw high and safe. Well, run given up, first and third. You're still not out of trouble. You're at first and third and 2 outs. As you work against Zach Weems. Reams, a tough left-hander.
So Ali Aziz, with the 2 singles and the hit batsman in the inning, does give up the run. It's the first one scored by the Red Raiders since back in the 3rd, and the first that Ali Aziz has surrendered. Reams is 0 for 3. Base hit to right field by Reams. That will chase home Klein, and it's 5-2 Red Raiders. So Reams comes through. The Red Raiders continue this rally here in the top of the 7th. The lead back to 3.
Yeah, the hard base hit down the left or right field line, excuse me. And he's going to drive in another run. That's going to be for Reams. It's his 46th run. Driven in on the line, drive base hit to right field.
2 runs on 3 hits here in the inning. Rob Walton strolls out of the Oklahoma State dugout. Bullpen has been active. We've had Jensen Elliott and Ben Leeper out there throwing. And we'll see if Ali Aziz continues. Boy, he had looked so good. Retired the first 4 batters that he had seen. And Jensen Elliott, returning from injury, comes out of the Oklahoma State bullpen to enter this game with the Cowboys trailing by 3 in the top of the 7th. We welcome you back to the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, an elimination game here at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship, and Texas Tech padding its lead and getting 2 runs back in the inning so far. 5-2 now. Red Raiders on top. They have gotten an RBI ground out from Grant Little, an RBI single by Zach Reams, and now they will deal with Jensen Elliott, just his 3rd appearance of the season, coming back from Tommy John surgery. He is the Oklahoma State ace, but they have not had him until the last 2 weeks of the season.
Well, the last outing, 3 1/3, came against this ball club, Texas Tech, at Stillwater, and he threw extremely well. Just 1 hit given up over that 3 1/3. So to say that he's back pain-free, 99% yes. Huge boost for their ball club going into the regional.
And Jensen Elliott, who has battled his way back, Josh Holliday was telling us, just good to see him be able to go back out there. And yes, his availability, you don't know how much it will be once you get into the NCAA tournament, but it is a huge weapon to have. And he is right. He's as good as just about anyone in the country. Cameron Warren, who has hit 2 home runs today, is the batter. Red Raiders runners at first and second, and 2 gone. Homer to solo home run in the 2nd, then hit a 2-run blast in the 3rd. Jensen Elliott. And Warren. 1-1 now. That one hits him to load the bases.
Third hit batsman so far in this ballgame by Oklahoma State pitching staff.
Jensen Elliott, the 6'6" right-hander, made just 4 starts last year before his Tommy John surgery, but he was a freshman All-American 2 years ago.
And that's what you hope to see him come back to.
He delivers a strike to Michael Davis. Davis doubled in the second. He's also struck out and grounded out. Jensen Elliott's older brother Jake pitched at Oklahoma and is now in the White Sox organization.
Along with another former Sooner, Alec Hansen.
Base is full of Red Raiders and 2 gone. Pop up, foul, shading his eyes. Newstifter, the third baseman, in foul territory, gives way to the shortstop Kroon, and the ball lands foul.
Normally your shortstop has a better angle on the baseball. See that wind drift, and then all of a sudden Newstifter steps away from it, thinking he had called for it, and you can see that the arms went straight in the air. I mean, he just quit on it and got out of the way. I think looking straight up into the sun made it more difficult of a play than what you realize at home.
New life here for Davis with a 1-2 count. And 2-2 now to the Red Raiders shortstop. Still a long way to go in this one. Top of the 7th. Davis battling away with Jensen Elliott. There's ball 3. Despite Michael Davis believing it's ball 4.
Said, how many do you want here? Everybody at all the bases are kind of looking like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was kind of curious when he looked up at first and Cameron Warren wasn't moving. He's like, aren't you going to go to second base, man? No, that's ball 3.
My bad.
Runners will be moving on 3 and 2 with 2 down. Jensen Elliott to Michael Davis. Fouled back. Jensen Elliott, the third pitcher used. It was Carson Teal for 5, then Reza Ali Aziz. And there is ball 4. Davis will indeed draw the bases loaded walk, and it's 6-2 Red Raiders.
Now batting center fielder Cody Farhouse.
And the 9th batter of the inning's about to come to the plate. 2-hit batsman, a walk, and 3 hits to produce the 3 runs for Texas Tech. And here's Cody Farhat. Farhat's 0 for 3, struck out and grounded out and hit a pop-up to third. Two and 0 now.
Nobody's warming up in the Cowboy bullpen, although, was it Lieber was up earlier? Probably wouldn't take him long to get loose.
Colin Simpson out for a pat on the back to Jensen Elliott. Reams at third, Warren at second, Michael Davis at first. And the 2-0 pitch is yanked foul past Tim Tadlock in the third base coach's box. Oklahoma State had gotten back into this game. It was 3-2. But here in this seventh inning, Little with an RBI ground out, Reams an RBI single, Michael Davis the bases loaded walk to plate 3. To the shortstop, Kroon, underhanded toss in time to Hewitt for the final out. 3 runs on 3 hits, couple of hit batsmen, and the Red Raiders lead re-extended to 4 at the 7th inning stretch. Well, the Cowboys got on the board first. It was John Littell. This RBI single made it 1-0 in the first. But then Cameron Warren's first home run, his 9th of the year, tied the game in the second. Warren followed with a man aboard here in the 4th to give the Red Raiders a 3-1 lead. Oklahoma State got back within 3-2 on Christian Funk's RBI single. So a 3-2 ball game to the top of the 7th. Grant Little, an RBI ground out, made it 4-2 as he beat the Rap at first base to plate a run. Then it was Zach Reams with the RBI single. That made it 5-2. And you saw the bases loaded walk just a moment ago to Michael Davis that plated Red Raider run number 6. That's where we are as the fans are up and stretching it out here. 7th inning stretch at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Nice warm afternoon. Getting the holiday weekend started early with this elimination game. Boone, Newstifter, and McCusker due up against Ty Harpenow. Harpenow in relief of Shetter, and Harpenow's gone 2 scoreless innings and given just 1 hit.
Very good slider. Utilizes it more than the fastball. 82 to 84 mile an hour. Has very late break and movement on it. It's been very effective against the Cowboys.
Trevor Boone is 0 for 2. He has flied out to left and flied out to right. Two and 2 now on Trevor Boone. After that one, just got a piece of it.
It's a little bit different. He'll get on top of it and turn the slider into almost a power curveball. You get around it onto the left side and then make a turn where it'll go away from the right-handed hitters.
Being able to shoot this one foul and out of play. Oklahoma State, the defending champion of this Phillips 66 Big 12 championship. Texas Tech last won this event in 1998. This one will sneak through the 6 hole out into left field off the bat of Boone.
Yeah, you get enough looks at someone, you might have success. And that's exactly what happened to Boone. Fouled off a lot of tough pitches.
Boone with his first hit, the 6th for the Cowboys. And here's Newstifter. Michael Newstifter 0 for 2. Ground ball to the shortstop. Davis could be 2. Klein's relay is in time. Red Raiders' 47th double play of the season.
Well, the doctor couldn't have written a better prescription to get 2 quick outs. Nice little two-hop ground ball right to your shortstop with your momentum going to second. Not a difficult throw and an exchange and on to first. You practice that 1,000 times during the course of the year.
Lou Stifter is 0 for 3 today. Carson McCusker is the batter. He's 0 for 2. It has been Littell and Funk providing the offense today.
The bottom of the lineup for the Cowboys is 1 for 10 today. A lot of that, not a lot of damage, just one strikeout, some fly outs, mostly ground ball outs. The most recent coming after a base hit and a double play.
This one to Davis again. His throw is a little bit low, but in time to get McCusker. Leadoff single, but a double play, and Harpendale faces the minimum in the 7th inning. The defense good for Texas Tech. They have not committed an error, and they've rolled up their 47th double play of the season. 6-2 Texas Tech moving to the 8th at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Fans finding some shade on a warm May afternoon at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Texas Tech fans enjoying a 4-run lead in this elimination game. The winner will move on and live to fight again another night tomorrow at 7 against the loser of tonight's game between West Virginia and TCU.
The winner of tonight's game really benefits with the extra day off and wait till Saturday afternoon to play. Big difference as far as saving your bullpen.
And you have to watch another team use up its pitching staff fighting through the losers bracket.
Well, and I'll tell you this much too. TCU didn't look like a team that was beat up very bad last night. They swung the bat well. They fielded the ball well. They came up timely hits, took advantage of a bunch of walks.
We will have TCU and West Virginia for you tonight at 7:30. Braxton Fulford, the number 9 batting catcher, to lead off against Jensen Elliott. Kroon over to this one. 1 down. So a clean slate for Jensen Elliott here. Starts the inning with nobody on base. Back to the top of the lineup for Gabe Holt now. Gabe Holt has been hit by a pitch and singled, scored a run back in the 7th. Kind of a tough hop there for Funk, but he'll take it easily to the bag. 2 up and 2 down quickly for Jensen Elliott. Brian Klein will be the batter.
Now batting second baseman Brian Klein.
Klein singled and scored in that 7th inning. He's also struck out and grounded out. One and 1 on Brian Klein. Mini shift on, so this is it right to Kroon. What did Jensen Elliott throw? 5 pitches in that inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Raiders in the 8th. 6-2 Texas Tech on top. If you don't have plans, come and spend part of this holiday weekend with us here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday yet to come. 2 more games today in this Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Elimination game here, and the Cowboys are on the short end of it, trailing the Red Raiders 6-2. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up. Now Oklahoma State will get one more chance with the heart of its lineup. Hewitt, and then the top of the order, Rosa and Kroon. And the hard-throwing right-hander, Jose Quezada, is out of the bullpen for the Red Raiders. What a job by Harpinot today, George.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered. That's what you needed in this ball game. Come in and eat up some innings. He did it for 3 innings. He held the Cowboys at bay. He gave up 2 hits over that span. No runs given up to the Cowboys. He did just what you want him to do. Through the 5th, 6th, 7th, you hand it over to the hard-throwing right-hander.
So Harpinot did not give up a run in relief of Shetter. Shetter went 4 and gave the 2 earned runs, and then Harpinot for 3 scoreless innings. And now Quezada, 5'9" senior from Chihuahua, Mexico, through Howard College. Spent 2 years at Howard College.
Now that comes out of the arm. It might be 5'9", but it comes out quick. 4-2 on the year, 195 earned run average. You see the high number of strikeouts for him.
Oklahoma State with the opportunity to get its best hitters up there and try to avoid elimination.
There's the overall numbers again. 27 2/3, 35 strikeouts. How about the opposition's batting average? Just 118.
Max Hewitt will bat. He's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts, 1 to short, 1 to second.
Leading off the bottom of the 8th inning for Oklahoma State, second baseman Max Hewitt.
Hewitt starting his 4th straight game. Saw Ryan Cash last night come into the game late and get an at bat. As Hewitt sends this one towards center. Farhat racing back, gets there. It's been a cleanly played game. No errors either way. In a game in which 9 errors were committed last night. George, I don't know if you remember that one.
I do remember that, along with the walks. I remember that. I remember the part of 3 hit batsmen, 3 balks, 9 walks, 9 errors. It was a night of 9s. And bad baseball, to be quite honest. Not clean baseball of any kind whatsoever.
Andrew Rosa, the leadoff man, looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 1-1 to Rosa. Quezada low to mid-90s with his fastball.
Max effort type delivery. As it is true, Prohl's pretty true. With a lot of guys small in stature, they have to use every ounce of energy to get the ball there. It's smooth, and right at the very end, that arm gets after it pretty well.
Klein takes care of Rosa. 2 down in the 8th. And Matt Kroon will be the batter. He's reached twice today.
Jam shot and off the hands a little bit, played perfectly. Klein did up the middle to retire Rosa.
Kroon singled and scored on Littell's base hit back in the 1st inning, and then he walked in the 6th. And Quezada pouring through the strikes. Strike 2 on Kroon. Quezada trying to work a 1-2-3-8 out of the Red Raider bullpen. And Klein has to leap high for that. He can't make a play to first.
Yeah, no chance on that. Boone runs too. Kroon, runs way too well. He has a stolen base today. He's 16 of 20 on the year, but when that ball got hit that high into the air, it was going to be a difficult play for him to make and get the out.
2 hits for Kroon today, and that'll keep the inning going.
And I love the way he plays hard. That was a hard slider down and away, chopped the ball. Last second, that ball made a run on it. I'm not sure if Klein should have charged the baseball a little harder to try to shorten up the hops when he get rid of the ball in a hurry.
Hits are all even at 7 apiece. Colin Simpson is 0 for 3 today. Over 4,000 the attendance for this game. Good crowd around the Chickasaw Bricktown ballpark. There's Quezada with a strike back to Colin Simpson. It's 1-1. Kroon stole a base earlier back in the first inning, stole second. His 16th in 19 tries this year. And the 2-1 is ripped into the upper deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Oklahoma State catcher Colin Simpson.
No true way to try to get Simpson out. You just kind of got to try to outguess him. Something off speed, 2-seam. The front side flew out and the ball flew out with it. High right at 88.
The shifting continues on the part of the Red Raiders. They had all 4 of the infielders over on the first base side of second. And now you see Josh Young shifting back to where the shortstop would normally play on a 3-2 pitch. And the shift doesn't matter. Simpson walks. So Kroon to second, Simpson to first, and the cleanup batter, Littell, will get a chance.
I think Quezada's just a little more comfortable against righties and lefties and the power that comes with it.
Here's what Littell has been able to do today. Comes through with the base hit to start the scoring back in the bottom of the first inning, and then came through with this double in the fourth. He would score on a base hit by Funk. John Littell has factored into both of the Oklahoma State runs, and he has a big opportunity here, but 2 outs. Fly ball to right on the first pitch. Gabe Holt. Easy fly ball. Inning over. A walk and a base hit and 2 men left by the Cowboys in the 8th inning. We move to the 9th with the Red Raiders on top, 6-2. We go back to Division I for winners bracket action next at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. The Baylor Bears were able to beat Oklahoma 4-0 yesterday. And the Kansas Jayhawks, who upset the top seed Texas. And here's your pitching matchup. Hayden Kettler, 7-4 record, and the hard-throwing Ryan Zefferjohn will toe the rubber for the Jayhawks.
The Jayhawks, we mentioned coming in, were going to be dangerous with Goddard being healthy and this young man that throws so hard, Zefferjohn, and you would think that bullpen would be pretty strong too. And so if they can come up with some collective hits and turn it over to the couple of starters, jump out 2-0 in this thing just to kind of figure out it's going to be a lot easier on you.
There are the red-hot Baylor Bears of Steve Rodriguez awaiting their turn. They got a great performance from Cody Bradford yesterday in their 4-0 shutout of Oklahoma. Rich Price and the Jayhawks here as well. ready to go. That goes off the glove of Funk. Picked up by the second baseman Hewitt, and alertly Elliott, the pitcher, covers. They get Josh Young at first base.
That's a pretty nice job, too, because Elliott went. And you're taught that. The minute the ball's hit to the right side, you go to, you know you don't have a play as a pitcher. So when it got off the glove of Funk, it hit hard. Right at Funk from the right. He dove, and then the ball ricochets away. Very alertly, Hewitt gets it and throws a snap throw over to Elliott. Yeah, I mean, that's what you practice. You practice 1, 3, 4, 1.
You practice the 3-4-1. Ricochet out at first base.
Yeah, that's right.
That's part of PFP.
Yeah,
right?
all day long.
Here's Grant Little. How were you with PFPs back in the day?
Loved it.
You enjoyed it?
I loved it. I absolutely thought it was a blast. I did. I liked it. Except with Milwaukee, Frank Howard hit it.
Hit it a little hard?
Yeah, that wasn't fun. It's like, Frank, nobody hits the ball this hard in the league we play in. Oh, yes, they do, son. Get up there. Take another one.
Jensen Elliott working to Grant Little, who hits a one-hopper that's speared by Kroon. High throw, swipe tag by Funk, lands on the back of Little for the out. It's been an adventure for 2 outs, George.
Yeah, but they're outs, right?
Stepping to the plate now, designated hitter Zach.
It has been a little bit of an adventure. High throw, instead of duck and slide. You might have been safe. Instead, you're out.
Only time you're supposed to go head first at first base?
Well, just feet first. Just slide into it like you were going into second. You're probably safe.
Base is empty, 2 gone for Zach Reams.
I'm not a big head first slide guy. I just think they break fingers, wrist, get stepped on.
Poked in the eye.
Well, it's not championship wrestling.
That happens in championship wrestling?
Yeah, well, sure it does.
How about non-championship wrestling?
Sure it does.
And Oklahoma State, with one final chance, they'll have Funk, Boone, and Newstifter due up. That's laser beam out into center off the bat of Reams, who has his second hit. Zach Reams.
Got a ball up out over the plate. Good left-handed hitter.
8 hits for the Red Raiders now. Cameron Warren has 2 home runs.
Pretty good way to come back to the house, isn't it? Call those ice cream days.
Ice cream day, absolutely.
Remember that when you were a little league player? You had a great day. Mom said, let's go get some ice cream.
Cameron Warren, a solo home run in the second. 2-run homer in the third. He's also been hit by pitch. Close play.
Ooh. If it's a 3-2 game, you probably see an argument. Quick feet, Jensen. He's got quick feet. Might have been out.
One and one on Cameron Warren. That time they got him. Went over once, did Elliott. A little quicker this time. And Zach Reams gets picked off first base for the third out. To the 9th inning we go. The Cowboys down to their final 3 outs. They trail it 6-2, facing elimination at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Cowboys down to their final 3 outs, trailing 6-2 as we hit the bottom of the 9th inning. Christian Funk, Trevor Boone, and Michael Neustifter are set to come to the plate. And Jose Quezada is back out there. This would continue a trend, George, of the lower-seeded team winning every game in this championship.
6 in a row, is that right?
6. I don't know that there are upsets necessarily in college baseball.
Well, I think there's upsets in college baseball. I think, too, though, that some teams come here, and because of the short week where you just finished your conference game on Saturday, here you are playing again Wednesday. That's not 7-day rest. So those guys aren't going to throw number 1s and number 2s. Now, OSU went with number 1 today with Teal. Gave him a great effort, 5 innings. And gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. He struck out 7. The bullpen did not do its job, except for Elliott at the back end of it. You end up losing a ball game if they don't come back and win it here. It's down 6-2.
Quezada 0-2 now with Funk.
But to talk about it, yeah, I think there is some upsets when you have better pitching, better ball players. But I think the hard thing too is it's you know, it's kind of like Big 12 basketball tournament. If you knew you're in, you know you're in. It's kind of like Westbrook and those. Are you going to play the last week when you know you're in? So
still have to compete. You want to compete.
I'm saying you're competing. I'm not saying you're not competing. I'm just saying knowing that in the back of your mind that it's not a do or die situation. That Cowboy team that showed up here last year, they got hungry real quick and they got after it.
Christian Funk strikes out to start the 9th.
Appeared to be an off-speed pitch away.
It's Quezada's first strikeout. Oklahoma State's RPI very comfortable, sitting in the high 20s to 30 coming into the day. Trevor Boone had a base hit back in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. One and one now to Boone. Baylor, Kansas scheduled for first pitch at 4 o'clock. They will not quite make that. Running a tad bit behind here on day number 2. Hit well to left. Grant Little back near the warning track. Leaps to grab it. That's the 2nd time today he's done it. Grant Little robbing a couple of hits from Cowboys out on the warning track in left today.
He has. It's all been about perfect timing and attacking the baseball at the very end. That leap is absolutely perfect. A lot of speed in this Texas Tech outfield.
So Michael Neustifter bats with the bases empty and 2 down in the 9th inning. That's the 2nd time he's done that to Boone today. Neustifter 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the 7th. Quezada's 0-1 to Neustifter. To the second baseman, Klein. And he'll throw to first, and the Red Raiders will survive and advance at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. After losing last night to TCU in a run rule, they beat Oklahoma State 6-2, eliminating the 2nd-seeded defending Big 12 champion Cowboys from the 2018 championship. Well, it was the bat of the local product today, George. Cameron Warren, solo home run in the 2nd, 2-run blast in the 3rd that provided all the offense Texas Tech would need. They get solid pitching on the day, and they're able to track their way into another game.
They'll play tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, the loser of tonight's game between TCU. It's in West Virginia.
Texas Tech will play at 7 o'clock tomorrow night against the loser of tonight's game between West Virginia and TCU.
You told me I had the late game, didn't you?
You do have the late game tomorrow night.
I think you're tricking me again.
So look at the bottom of this. Upset City. The lower seeds have won every matchup. 5 seed over 4, 8 over 1, 7 over 2, and 6 over 3 yesterday. We've seen the number 4 seed Oklahoma eliminate the top seed Texas. The number 2 seed Oklahoma State gets bounced here by the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, who will play tomorrow at 7 o'clock in what will be another elimination game. So let's look at the bracket. What is remaining? Division II, West Virginia, TCU tonight at 7:30. George and I will call that winner's bracket game for you on Fox Sports. Texas Tech gets to sit back and relax for a little bit as they'll play tomorrow night at 7 against either the Mountaineers or the Horned Frogs. Winner's bracket play is coming up next. Bill Dolman and Mickey Tettleton will call for you Baylor and Kansas here in about 35 minutes. You see that Oklahoma is through, surviving elimination earlier today.